Number line. I can convert decimals and fractions and to percents. I can locate fractions, decimals, and percents on a number line. So that you should have this in your notes from yesterday. Remember following your arrows when you're starting, wherever you're starting, and then follow your arrow to where you want to get to. So the first one says convert 71% to a decimal. So I'd start as a percent, and to go to a decimal, I back it up, back it up. So in this case, I would remember to cross it off, back it up, back it up. So my answer is 71 hundredths. The next one, convert 3/8 to a decimal. So if I'm starting as a fraction, to go to a decimal, I would need to divide or get the denominator to be 10, 100, or 1,000. Well, I can't go to 10, 100, or 1,000, so I would divide. And in my calculator, I get 3.375 or 375 thousandths. Same thing, now I'm starting at a fraction, and I got to go to a percent. So I'm going to go from a fraction to a decimal, and then a decimal to a percent. So fraction to decimal, I would divide, and that would give me 6/10, and then I would move it. So my answer would be 60%. So you're going to be using a number line today. I'm going to draw one up here that I want you to draw in your notebook. So remember, we're going to go in tenths again. So you start at 0. You're going to make 10 hash marks. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, 10/10 would be your whole number 1. And you can do that again for 2. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and then my whole number 2. We are going to use decimals, so we want all of these things to be in decimals. If you remember on your decimals now, the first number always tells me where to start. So here, if this was a 0, that would be my starting number. This one tells me how many tenths to move over, and this one tells me about how far between the next tenth. So this one is how many I would count. So if I'm starting at 0, I have to go 1/10, 2/10, and then halfway in between. So 0.25 would go right here. So let's do another decimal. How about 0.5? So you'd start at 0 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 0.66. So I'd start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the second 6 tells me I'm a little bit over half, so maybe right in there. So you can do the rest, the others, if I can turn them to a percent. For instance, 3/4. Remember, you can either get it to 10, 100, or 1,000 or divide. So if I divide this, I get 0.75. So I would go over 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 3/4 would be halfway in the middle. If I start as a fraction, I need to write it as a fraction. If I start as a decimal, write my answers as decimals. All right, let's try this one, 1 1/4. If I divide that, I get 1.25. So start at 1, go over 1, 2, and halfway in the middle is 5. How about if I have a percent? Here's 33%. We need to change that to a decimal. So remember, you cross it off, back it up, back it up. So really I have 0.33. So let's move it. Starting at 0, I move it over 1, 2, 3, and then a little bit over. So you are going to be putting numbers on a number line today.